Good afternoon. Today is January 17th. It's a Sunday, and I'm here measuring some windows. I'm going to get new windows ordered for all the windows upstairs except for the big window up front, which has already been ordered. It's already ready to be installed, and I'm just waiting to fix the foundation until I install that window. I bought a little laser measurement. It's accurate to the 16th of an inch, and it's super easy. It allows me to do multiple measurements and keep it on screen. You'll see all of this in just a second. So let's go ahead and measure some windows. To measure these windows, we want to do a measurement at the left, the middle, and the right, and same thing vertically, the bottom, the middle, and the top. Each window in my house has a code. The one we just measured was the bedroom window, number 5. I haven't measured the widths yet, but for the heights, as you can see here, for the left height, I have 33 and 7/8 inches. For the middle width, I have 33 and 3/4 inches. And for the right side, I've got 33 and 7/8 inches again. It's important to take 3 measurements because I want to use the measurement that's the most constricting, which in this instance would be the middle measurement, 33 and 3/4, which is 33 and 6/8. You can see it's just 1/8 of an inch narrower at the middle as it is the right and the left-hand side. So I want my window for brick windows to be 1/8 of an inch smaller than the most narrow measurement, which is this one. So my windows will actually, my height for this window will need to be, what's the math on that? 33 and 6/8 minus 1/8, 5/8. So I'll do that for all the windows and I'll get them ordered. Admittedly, I haven't been doing a lot of work physically here at the house for the last few weeks. I've done little things, but not much. This is actually the 12th week. I'm well into the 12th week. It's almost over. And I'm still not done with the renovation. So what have I been doing? A lot of it's been planning. A lot of it's been figuring out how I'm gonna do things. Some of it was budgeting. I think I'm on track, but I know it's been a few weeks. I most recently scheduled to get the basement foundation fixed. That'll happen early March. I've measured windows today, saw many of those ordered so I can start putting windows in. And I've been working on permitting. Electrical's been a big task. I want everything to be up to code. It has to be up to code, but also that'll save me having to redo jobs in the future when I don't pass inspection. So I've got a lot of planning done and I'm ready to get back to the building side of things. I've got a giant to-do list of a million tiny little tasks, so I'm gonna see how many of them I can get done today. I've been stripping out wiring all evening, which you can see on the floor. I need to clean it up. As I was stripping out the wiring, I connected up just the minimal amount of electrical cords to add a few more lights around that we already had connections for. So I think I had to run one length of wire that was about 10 feet to connect this side circuits to this side circuits. So everything else I just left alone and connected some light bulbs, so I have a little bit more work, or a little bit more light to work with down here. Check out this beautiful outlet. Or this designer outlet. Good afternoon. It's Monday, January 18th, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I've got a large list of things to do at the house today, and I'm gonna see how many I can knock out. I started on them yesterday, and some things that I wanna get done upstairs is a little bit of concrete repair. I'm gonna fill some of these tinier cracks with spray foam insulation. I want this house to be nice and airtight. There's a bunch of things to do downstairs, popping off tiles, vacuuming, removing some screws. There's tiny little bits of drywall around the HVAC that I haven't got to yet, but for the main part, this is all little stuff I can be doing until the windows come in, which I measured for yesterday, and until the basement foundation gets repaired by Complete Basement Systems. I did want to point out, I've got a cool new toy. Can you see this? I have no cameraman, but check this out. As I move around, the camera's moving around. And yesterday, one of my good friends, Ben, who runs the planetarium up at Fort Collins, at the Fort Collins Museum of Discovery, let me borrow his Osmo Mobile 2 gimbal, I think is what it is. So it's Bluetooth to my phone, it's got tracking, it can do slow motion pans, hyperlapses, I don't know, all kinds of things that I've never played with. Ben reached out a few weeks ago and said, hey, I've got something that I think might be great for your videos. So I'm gonna try this in my shots going forward. Again, it has a limited range of tracking and I'm still figuring out how to make it work, but how cool is this? I can walk, I can talk, and as I'm doing this, check this out. Hands-free, no cameraman, I can get a little bit more movement in my shots. So Ben, thank you very much for letting me borrow this Osmo Mobile 2. I'm super excited. Excited to use it and excited to see what kind of shots so I can get with this. So without further ado, let's do anything. Let's probably start with these concrete cracks up here. Right, for the smaller cracks, I've got great stuff, and it's just some of the, it's for small cracks. It's gonna take me a minute to figure out how to use this stuff, but hopefully it works. Well, one can of spray foam down, and it was just about enough for the small cracks in the house. There's a few bigger holes where outlets used to be that I'm gonna have to fill with either concrete or the larger grate stuff. I think it's gonna be negligible to actually fill them really, really well because I'm still gonna have insulation, but it's one more way I can kind of airtight the home. Most of these concrete blocks, as you can see, are gonna be fairly airtight compared to having a giant hole, which air can run up and down the whole column through. So that's kind of what I'm looking to fix before I start doing insulation and framing. So in the meantime, here's another thing on my to-do list. Pop these boards out. And of course, I'm gonna need to get an extension cord and clean off these masonry anchors. Gonna do a quick walkthrough. None of this is stuff you haven't seen, but more or less want to test out the capabilities of this gimbal. Just to see how nice and smooth it can be while walking around and doing different shots. It's looking like it's doing a fairly nice job. stabilizing out this movement. You can see as I turn a corner, it tries to smooth my movements. So it's not quite as extreme as the turns I'd make while walking. I guess you can see some of my spray foam work. I just filled any little holes. So like these bricks had 3 holes in the middle. Filled those up. Filled any cracks on the walls. All right, well, the gimbal's pretty awesome. Let's get to work again. All right, this next one is kind of interesting. I've got an antenna in my attic that's actually just hanging off this stick that's connected to the ceiling. So I'm gonna remove this today as well. There's a bunch of this old ribbon antenna cable strung throughout the attic. And as you can see, this line of it here, I've started pulling it. It was going all the way down into the basement, which was feeding through the utility line post near the 3rd bedroom up here. So I need to get some wrenches and unbolt this part next. By the way, sorry, hate to say it for all the analog fans out there, but the antenna is not staying. There's a lot of vacuuming in my future. I'm gonna get some headphones in, put on some music, put my respirator on, and go to town. I want to clear out the wall cavities that had outlets in them in preparations for filling up with spray foam. Downstairs, I want to vacuum pretty much everything, namely cobwebs off the ceilings and walls, and then construction dust all over the floor. The upstairs probably is going to need that again at some point, and the basement again at some point. But for now, I'm just going to try to get it as clean as I can. Since it's a little bit cold, well, like 60 degrees, I've given these 2 days to dry. So now I'm just gonna clean things up with a hacksaw blade. Beautiful. I'm hitting the external walls before I do any of the interior walls. I'm not sure how much foam's gonna be in this one can, so that's why I'm doing it that way.